following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Today's show, we feature two more area schools for the local sports focus Game of the Week. Where were we in the area? Find out straight ahead.
And we'll take you to Quincy Notre Dame High School for full highlights from the Bomber football game against the Raiders. Could the Bombers upset QND? Find out around the corner.
And we've got a special interview this week with a Leatherneck football alum that spent many years playing in the NFL. Find out who up next. Good morning and welcome to Local Sports Focus, the show that covers everything Western Illinois and Macomb High School athletics. I'm Danny Fry.
And I'm Redrick Terry. On today's show, we have Western Illinois football, soccer, top plays, and all the MHS sports coverage you can handle.
Let's begin at Hanson Field. Leatherneck football took on Indiana State on homecoming weekend. That was a tough, upset-minded Sycamore squad. The Leathernecks fired up before the big homecoming game. It's a designed run to the quarterback, Sean McGuire. He scores from 11 yards out to put WIU on the board while tying the game up at 7 apiece early on. Next, Indiana State drive. Here's the tip drill. Lucky bounce to Robert Tanyan. He takes it the rest of the way, 65 yards for the touchdown, to put the Sycamores back in front with 11 minutes left in the second quarter, 14-7, a tough break.
And Western wasted no time with the answer. There's a slant over the middle. Lance Lenore. That's a 65-plus yard score, 68 yards to be exact. The PAT was no good, but the Leathernecks were trailing 14-13. Parker is back. He's hit as he throws. It's another deflection, but this time Timothy Smith, he makes a spectacular one-handed pick, the 5th of his career. What a play. And the very next play, Sean McGuire overthrows Joey Borsellino near the end zone, and it's picked off by Rondell Green, each team imitating what the other team did.
And then right before the end of the first half, go back to the red-hot Lance Lenore for 6 in the corner, give the Leathernecks a boost as they walk into the locker room at halftime, ahead 20-14. And then the Leathernecks pick it right back up where they left off. Steve McShane putting Western in control, ahead by 2 scores, 27-14 of that 2-yard run up the middle. The momentum, though, would shift. It's a muffed punt by Lance Lenore, and it didn't help that Stacy Smith bumped into him. And Indiana State gets the ball at the 15-yard line. They will take advantage on a 10-yard run up the middle by Jaquan Keys, and that really woke the Sycamores up, and the road wouldn't get any easier for Western in this one. Right after that, Jameer Thurman steps in front for the interception, and McGuire takes it to the crib, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the third quarter, Indiana State leads 28-27.
How about this following Leatherneck drive stalling out, and then Knuffman's punt was blocked by John Horner, setting up the Sycamores with good real estate again, and they would capitalize. That's a 10-yard touchdown run by Roland Genesee, made it 35-27 the score, and in the very beginning of the fourth quarter, this is Sean McGuire. He's flushed out the pocket. He would keep on buying time. He would force it into the end zone. And Jamie Gilmore, the transfer, simultaneous possession in the back of the end zone. It is a touchdown, and that led to an important 41-yard field goal off the leg of Nathan Knuffman. Clutch kick with 11:41 to go.
Western trying to go for it on 4th down late, but they are stopped on that jet sweep to Stacy Smith. We go through to the end. This is 35-33 Western, waning minute of the ball game. Indiana State, did someone jump off sides? Not sure, but all that we know is the Leathernecks stopped them on 4th down, but then Western played it safe. Indiana State gets the ball back, 13 seconds left. This is the final play of the game, and how fitting that Brett Taylor with the big tackle to end it on the lateral in a game you need to check your blood pressure afterwards. 36-35, the final.
The Leathernecks were able to get back into the win column, winning that one by a final score of 36-35.
As we move on from college football over to high school football, here's a look at the Macomb High Bombers. They found themselves in enemy territory last week.
They did, and they looked to grab a victory against the Quincy Notre Dame squad that was looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. It's highlight time. Right to the action we go with the Bombers trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Opening drive for the Raiders. The pitch to Grant Carper. He's just across the goal line for the end zone touchdown. QND is ahead early, 7-0. Next drive for the Raiders, it would stall. The ball comes loose. Corby Foxall, back from injury, he falls on it for the Bombers. It was great field positioning for them. And on fourth down, just outside the 30, quarterback Jacob Burke pushes forward behind his lineman to keep that drive going. From the 5-yard line, this is Ben Gendry rumbling in with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. The 2-point conversion was no good.
Time for QND to go back to the air, leading 14-6 in the second quarter. Wellman finds Reed higher on that TD connection to extend the Raider lead. MHS back on the move, Foxall in the backfield, and he forces his way forward, but just barely stopped at the 1-yard line. And why not give it back to him this time? He will burst through. 2-point conversion is good for the Bombers, and we got ourselves a ball game with Macomb trailing 21-14. Waning seconds of the first half, the Raiders trying to make something happen with a heave to the sideline, but John Ogle is there for the diving interception. 21-14 QND at halftime. Bill Cannell's Raiders came out ready to play in the second half. It's Carper who sees the land, exposes it all the way to the end zone.
And with that, the Raiders were able to avoid postseason elimination with a huge 42-22 win over the Bombers. QND grabs their third win of the season in very impressive fashion.
The Bombers dropped to 2-5 this season, and they're officially out of the playoffs. And now it's time for installment number 2 of our newest segment, the Local Sports Focus Game of the Week.
And this week we did head down to Rushville, where the Rockets were in search of win number 5 on the season against South Fulton.
Right to the action in the Prairie Land we go. South Fulton driving midway through the fourth, but it is Cyril Karambi there for the denial in the backfield. No score after 1 quarter. Immediately in the second, Basil Buckner takes it in for 6 from up close to the corner to draw first blood for the Rockets.
A lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy plays in this one, including a Rocket fumble while they were driving. It was picked up there by the Rebels as they get the takeaway right there. Then South Fulton's drive would stall out. Rushville will take advantage, though, on a long run by Isaac Goodrich. Look at him go down the sideline. That's a touchdown. Made it 14-0 Rockets with 3:17 left in quarter number 2 as the celebration was on. But the ensuing kickoff was an onside one, and the Rockets fall on it with a gutsy call, but nothing came out of it. 11 seconds remaining in the half. Seth Hammond, the lefty, chucks it deep. Jake Porter, but the Rebels can't punch it into the end zone before the horn. As you see right there, it just stops short.
14-0 Rockets at the half, and it is senior night. And from senior night at half, all those festivities to the third quarter we go. The Rebels threatening, but again, it's thrown up for grabs. And Goodrich, what a game he had. He comes down with the interception, just too many turnovers for South Fulton. The defense kept them into it this time. The drive finally results in points for the Rebels. Carry up the gut by Seth Hammond. 2-point conversion is good. And now it is interesting, 14-8 with 52 seconds left in the third. Rushville not roll over, though. Ethan Downs breaks free, and he goes in the end zone. That makes it a 2-score lead. Next, South Fulton drives. We get caught up. Jake Porter lays out to make just an absolutely outstanding grab, and only a few plays later, whoop, there's that ball popping out, and again, it's Kayembe scooping it up for another Rebel turnover for the Rockets.
Well, back to work go the Rockets, and who's got the football? Well, I'll give you one guess. It's Goodrich again, who eludes everybody, including the camera, to score and blow open the game 29-8 with 7:33 left. A last-ditch effort for South Fulton with the bullet over the middle to Porter, who makes a gritty diving effort right here. He gets across for the score. PAT was no good, and it made it 29-14, and what a fitting way to end the game with all of those turnovers. It finishes with the deep ball towards the far sideline, and it was picked off. Goodrich for the dagger and the ball game. So the Rockets will come out victorious in this one, 29-14, the final score. For Rushville Industry, that is their 4th consecutive win. They will now get ready for a non-conference road matchup at Illini West this Friday night at 7 p.m.
Up next on Local Sports Focus, Macomb High Volleyball back at Washington Street Gym Monday night. We have full highlights from the match against Camp Point Central.
And WIU men's soccer are back at the John Mack on Sunday against Oral Roberts. Could the Leathernecks add yet another home win? Find out after the break.
It's a great camaraderie. All the opportunities that I've been given here have just been amazing to expand on that resume. I try not to beat myself up on the mistakes I make because there's so many opportunities. Just giving that experience, and this is how I got to do things in the real world, is really what the broadcasting and journalism department has done for me. When you have a really good show and that everybody nailed it, I mean, that's one of the best feelings in the world.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Garrett Covington chose Western Illinois University because of the law enforcement program and the chance to be a Leatherneck.
Western has one of the best law enforcement programs in the nation, and I get to play the game I love. Whether I go pro or I go to law school, because of Western, I would take my success to another level. I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Think purple, think success. Think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back. Let's head to the pitch. WIU men's soccer wrapped up a 3-match homestand last weekend.
They look to win their second of those 3 against the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles.
Let's go to John McKenzie. They're back at home for another Summit League matchup against the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts University. They're getting ready to go before this match, as we said, looking to win 3 in a row. Just 40 seconds into the game, though, Western challenges Parker Johnson into making a stop to his right, and that's exactly what he does. Good play there by Johnson. And then later on, off of a corner kick, this is Daniel Collins. Here he goes. He will feed out to his center back, Jacob Bjornsson, and Bjornsson takes a nice touch, rifles a shot into the upper left side of the net. That's in there to give the Leathernecks an early 1-0 lead.
Celebration on early, and poor goalkeeper Parker Johnson of Oral Roberts, his day would not get much easier. He receives a back pass from his defender Tyler LaCourse and tries to clear the ball, but Fernando Pacheco runs right to him and takes the clearance off and puts it into the back of the net. 2-0 WIU. Go over to the second half. It is Armel Kouazi driving at the net and puts his laces through the ball, sending it high to the left of the goalkeeper, and that caps off the game for WIU, making it 4-0. The Leathernecks move to 2-0 in Summit League play, undefeated in the league as they travel to Denver to face the undefeated 2-tie Denver Pioneers. Another shutout for the freshman Tim Hansen with 4 saves. The Leathernecks back over 500, an impressive 4-0 victory over the Golden Eagles. As I mentioned before, Tim Hansen with those 4 saves in that contest. And now we'll go ahead and move on.
All right, Macomb High volleyball time. The Lady Bombers return to the Washington Street Gym after 3 straight on the road.
They were in search of their 3rd consecutive match win against Camp Point Central. We take you to the hangar. Introductions before as the high school volleyball season starting to wind down. Good competitive start to set 1 as Lauren Gill forces it over for Camp Point Central to tie it up 7-7, and Gill sends it over. Give him a fantastic diving dig by Courtney Thorman, and Jordan Hare blocks it for the Bomber point. Set point of MHS ahead 24-17. Haley Coker set up for the kill. There we go. And it slips over, and set 1 goes to the Bombers.
On to set number 2. It'll be tapped over here as it's coming up. There it is. There's a tap over for a Macomb High point. right there. They set the tone early in that second set. How about Alexis Williams? She will set it up for Destiny Furman to keep pace for Camp Point Central. They did a good job of keeping up, but it's match point now for the Lady Bombers, and it's Hare taking care of business on the kill as MHS wins set 2, 25-20.
The Bombers take it in 2 straight sets over Central. That victory made it 3 in a row for Macomb. It was also the 3rd win in a row at the Washington Street Gym. Home court advantage for the Bombers.
Well, both MHS golf teams fighting for the right to play at the state tournament in sectional play on Monday.
Well, go ahead and remember last night, big rivalry game. We can pop that back up. Big rivalry game for the Bombers on the volleyball home court against Monmouth Roseville. A packed place won 2-1 over Monmouth Roseville. A good day for Haley Coker and company as we go back to golf in Class 2A play at Metamora. The 2 Macomb High representatives on the boys' side failed to make the cut. As we go ahead, we'll show you that graphic. Blaine Sutton leads the way with an 83. Nick Elting not far behind at 90. Over at Lincoln in Class 1A on the girls' side, Emma Thorman shot a 96. Finished tied for 18th overall, also missing the cut, and finishing 10 strokes behind her in 32nd place was Kelsey Cawthon. The MHS, and that was a great season for the MHS girls golf team. As we move over to boys soccer, they took a little trip last night to face off against Peoria Christian in the Class 1A Peoria Regional.
That's right, and with this being the last game before the regional championship, the pressure was on for both teams to perform in that one.
The Bombers drop a tough one in the season finale against Peoria Christian. The Chargers take it 7-0. Congrats to the Macomb High soccer team on a solid season.
Up next on Local Sports Focus, we talk to a Leatherneck Hall of Famer, find out who and why he was back in town. That's up next after the break.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
I think what I love most about News3 is that we're really provided with a real-world experience. We're able to get hands-on work in news, and it's very similar to what you would find in a real newsroom, but everyone around here is really good about pushing you to be your best. News3 has really taught me to believe in myself and that if you work hard, you can achieve anything you want. News can sometimes be really tricky, and you have a lot of roadblocks. All of us hold each other to really high standards, and I think that really shows in our newscasts.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. Homecoming weekend saw a lot of past Leatherneck faces in attendance, and one of them was former WIU football safety Mike Wagner.
Wagner was inducted into the Leatherneck Hall of Fame, and he was still playing in the NFL in 1976. His fantastic play on the field did not stop at Western. He went on to play in 2 Pro Bowls and won 4 Super Bowls as a part of the very infamous steel curtain defense of the NFL's Pittsburgh Steelers. We got a chance to chat with the former Leatherneck great to reflect on a terrific football career and his time at Western.
You know, I played in a team environment without the coaching, which was excellent at the time, and also my teammates. And I think the only reason I'm probably here right now is I got lucky and I played the NFL for a number of years, and the team got lucky and we won some Super Bowls. So I try not to do it too often, but I know as I get older, I get to go around memory lane. And I think for us, the alumni, the older alumni, that's what this is all about.
Speaking of his teammates, there's one punt return Wagner can't live down.
I didn't know what happened with a faux pas. I was back there about the 5-yard line, and a punt was kicked, and it was going over my head into the end zone. So I just let it go over my head, but I was like, the ball went like, 5 or 6 yards over my head. And then all of a sudden, the other team, they're running out and they're celebrating, okay? And then they're coming over there and kind of taunting me and patting me on the, going, thanks a lot. And I said, what happened? The ball, instead of bouncing out of the end zone, it bounced back, hit me in the back of the helmet, okay? And then bounced out into the end zone, and the other team recovered it for a touchdown. So those are the kind of things, that my friends remind me of.
Leatherneck head football coach Charlie Fisher reached out to Wagner about speaking to the current team.
He called me and he asked me if I would, get involved. And quite honestly, I've been out there for 40 years, and there's been a few coaches, and none of them ever really called to say, hey, Mike, can you help out? Would you come back or anything like that? And he just said, you're welcome, and, the players like to see you. And so, I don't know. I like to talk to the players and go, yes, look at me. Yes, I was this skinny little guy, played in the NFL for 10 years, and yes, it's a real deal. And yes, I was a little bit bigger, but, this is all you got. And so, it doesn't mean you guys might not have an opportunity, but, I'm impressed with Coach Fisher so far.
Good stuff there. And the Leathernecks are back in action this weekend on the road against Missouri State.
And I sat down earlier with head coach Charlie Fisher about that Missouri State matchup.
Coach Steckel's done a good job. Year 2 of his tenure there, that makes a big difference. He's implemented his schemes. They've had a chance to get used to him. They're much improved playing, and he's a defensive coach. They're playing good defense.
And go to the offense here. Brody Lambert has settled in at quarterback for Missouri State. How would you describe that Bear offense?
Well, they're a little bit like Indiana State in some ways. They're a spread team, but like most spread teams with the H-back being so important in the offense, it's really the illusion of a spread team that becomes a 2-back team in a hurry and can still run the ball.
Defensively, number 31, Dylan Cole, seems to be just about everywhere. How do you limit those big guys that kind of spread the field and run around for Missouri State?
Well, you got to get on him. You got to get on him. He's an outstanding player. Reminds you a lot of Brett Taylor here, our guy. So, he's very good. He's a tackle machine. You got to get up on him. Like Thurman last week from Indiana State, really good linebackers find their way to the ball. You just got to limit how many times he gets there.
Humbling loss last week for to North Dakota State by Missouri State, 27-3. How do you think they respond on the Bears' homecoming?
Well, they're going to be excited to play for their former players and alumni and fans and all that, like coming back. They know we're coming in here, and as they continue to try to build their program, every game's a great opportunity for them. So, they're not going to look past us or anything like that. They'll be ready to play. I'm surely they had a lot of energy for North Dakota State, so they're going to have to build that back up. But every week's an opportunity.
We'll break down the week's 5 best plays coming up. That's right, top plays. You're watching Local Sports Focus.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
My favorite thing about News 3 is you're constantly working with someone. If you're not going to work with someone, then your show's not going to go right. News 3 has really got me ready and prepared for the outside world. Traveling to do a tornado story, or if that even means traveling to Iowa to cover third graders. I get to work with some fantastic people. It wouldn't be the show that it was today without the production crew, without our anchors, without our talent. It's really a team effort, and I'm beyond blessed to be able to be here.
A lot of exciting plays over the weekend, but we have 5 for you this week. It's time for those top cuts.
And we'll start at number 5. To the hangar we go. MHS Volleyball. Courtney Thorman will lay out for the dig, and then eventually it will be sent over by Jordan Hare. The Bombers go on to beat Camp Point Central in the match 2-0.
And let's go to number 4, over to Macomb High football against Quincy Notre Dame. Check out John Ogle with the ball hawk diving interception. Take one more look at it. This is a beautiful pick by Ogle for Macomb at number 4.
To number 3 we go. Leatherneck football. The kicker, Nathan Knuffman, with the go-ahead 41-yard field goal to put WIU on top 36-35. That would, of course, be the final. Take a look at it in slow-mo. You know, kickers are people, too, and he helped out the Leathernecks there.
At number 2, Leatherneck men's soccer. Let's keep that kicking theme on. We had some lasers on the show this year, but check out this one from the foot of Jacob Bjornsson. The Leathernecks are fired up about that one, and why not? That was one of 4 Leathernecks goals that game, and they would go on to win 4-0.
And at number 1, back to Leatherneck football. Let's hear it.
Here's over the middle. It's deflected and picked off. What a play by Timothy Smith. Reeling it in with one hand off the deflection.
Check out this one-handed pick, and of course the voice of Redrick Terry on the call could be a candidate for Play of the Year.
Well, stick around. We have a look at upcoming week schedules for both MHS and WIU.
More local sports focus on the other side of this break.
Taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
We end our show with a look ahead at next week's sports around the area.
Absolutely. Let's start off with Macomb High as they start to wrap up their fall sports season. The Bombers have their senior night under the lights on Friday as they take on Manual at 7. And then on Tuesday, that Lady Bomber volleyball team celebrates their senior night against the Illini West at the Washington Street Gym.
Western Illinois University starts out their schedule Saturday on the road, fighting Leatherneck football on the road at Missouri State. 2 p.m. kickoff there. Then the ladies are in action Sunday when the volleyball team plays at 1 p.m. at Western Hall against SDSU. And an hour and a half later, Omaha playing the Fighting Leathernecks at the John Mack.
And that'll do it for us. But thank you for joining us for Local Sports Focus.
We will be back next Wednesday. Plan for the Wednesday after that, too, at 9 a.m.
And, of course, for more sports coverage, join us at Live on 4. That's tomorrow, Thursday at 4 o'clock.
For Redrick Terry, I'm Danny Fry. For all of us at Local Sports Focus, have a great morning.